Welcome back to English is Easier with Amal. Today we are going to study a new tense. We are going to study the past simple tense. So when do we use the past simple tense? We use the past simple tense to talk about an action that happened and finished in the past. It's done, completely done. Happened and finished in the past. For example, I have an example here that says, we finished the job yesterday. Yesterday is done. So we finished is the verb in the past simple tense. In the past simple tense, we need to focus on something here. We need to focus on something called regular and irregular verbs. The English verbs are divided into two groups. One group is regular verbs and the other group is irregular verbs. Regular verbs in the past simple tense, they just end with an ed. The verb and we just add ed to the end. For example, we have here, she washed all the dishes last night. The main verb is wash in the base form, and then when we put it in the past simple tense, we use the ed. That's it. If we look at the irregular verbs, they don't have a specific rule. Each verb is different from the other. All what we need to do with the irregular verbs is that we need to Google them, study them very hard, and memorize them. That's it. For example, we have here a sentence or an example that says, he drove to work last week. The base form is drive and the past is drove. The past simple tense is drove. Let's look at another example here. It says, we met at the supermarket. The main verb is met. The base form is meet and the past simple tense is met. How do we form the negative with the past simple tense? As we said before, we need a helping verb. If you remember when we were talking about the present simple tense, we said that we need a helping verb, which is do, that helps me to form the negative. This is where the verb where I add not, or I add not to this verb to do. Okay, but here we are going to use the past, so we need verb to do in the past. So the past of do is did. So instead of using do or does, with the past simple tense we use did. Let's have a look at it. When we use also the helping verb did, do you remember also when we mentioned in the present simple tense, the main verb becomes in the base form. Let's have an example. I did not go to the party last night. So I used the helping verb do in the past, which is did, and I added not to it to form the negative. The base form, which is go, the main verb, which is go, is in the base form. And this is how we form the negative with the past simple tense. We need did, we need not, and we need the main verb in the base form. We can use the contraction form with the negative in the past simple tense. Do you remember the contraction form? The contraction form is the short form. Instead of saying did not, we say didn't. The example here says, she didn't receive your invitation last week. Didn't is the helping verb in the past, plus not, the short form, plus the main verb receive in the base form. Next thing we do is how do we form the question with the past simple tense. We have the same idea as we did with the present simple tense. We need a helping verb. Instead of using do, we use do in the past. Do in the past is did. So in the present is do and does, and the past will be did. Again, I want to remind you again, when we use the helping verb did, the main verb becomes in the base form. Our example here is saying, why did you leave the room? Did is the helping verb that helps me form the question. Leave is the base form, is the main verb in the base form. Another example here is, did you give her the medicine this morning? Same idea. Did is the helping verb that helps me make the question, and the give is the main verb in the base form. What are the key words for the past simple tense? As we said before, each tense has some key words that help me to identify it. When I read, I see those words, and when I write, I use those words. They are very important as they help me indicate the tense and they make my ideas clear when I talk or when I write. Let's look at them. The first one, you know them, like you will find out that you know them. They are very easy. The first one, as you see, is yesterday. Yesterday is something that happened and finished. It's gone. Another word is ago. Ago is only used with the past simple tense because some people get confused. Sometimes some people get confused and use ago with other sentences, with other tenses, I'm sorry. Actually, ago is only used with the past simple tense. Also, the word last. When you say last night, last week, last weekend, last month, last year, anything that has the sense of the past, like yesterday and last, we use them for the past simple tense. Also, when we mention a year or a specific time in the past that is already gone or finished, we also use the past simple tense. For example, here you have in 2001, last February, in 2011, whatever you like, as long as it's the time is gone, completely gone in the past. We have another also term when we say when I was a child. This indicates that I'm not a child anymore, and you see here was is the past. You can also say when I was in college, when I was in school, anything that shows indication that this is the past simple tense or an action or specific time in the past. With this slide, we finish our presentation today. I hope you got it, you understand it. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please put them in the comment box, and I will respond to all your questions as soon as I can. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time. Bye.